and with a doubleheader on Saturday starting at 11 a.m. All three games can be found right here on Scope of Sports.
Women's Club Lacrosse had their senior night cap off their senior this season this past weekend with the final game against the BYU Cougars. The Buffs put up a good fight but ultimately came up short and were unable to come away with the win. This was an unfortunate way for the Buffs to end their season.
The men's lacrosse team, however, had a great time on the road, sweeping both Utah State and Utah. Unfortunately, the Buffs returned home on Thursday to take on the number 2 ranked Cougars of BYU. After a heated battle, the Buffs ultimately lost by 1. The Buffs play tonight at Kitchers Field where they take on the number 1 ranked Utah Valley Wolverines. Protect your neck, Wolverines. You're on Buff Surf now.
All 4 of the CU Club volleyball teams went to Kansas City last weekend for the NCBF Nationals. The women's B team ended up winning the bronze bracket, winning their division with 5 wins and 4 losses. Congrats to the Buffs for bringing home the bronze.
Hey, Buff fans, did you miss me? Oh, of course you did. If you're new here, I'm Kieran Walker, back with this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. My week of morning BD is over, so let's dive right in with some men's hoops. It only seems appropriate. We go way back in time, almost a week and a half to the Crown Tournament. Barrington Hargress driving up court, lays it up with the left hand. It's up and good, sending Colorado to overtime against the Oklahoma Sooners in round 1 of the Crown Tournament. That game did not end in the Buffalo's favor, but nonetheless, a great play. Let's go over to men's lax now. This was last night as they faced the BYU Cougars. Craig Nom takes a shot, and that bounced off the stick of goaltender Easton Wilkie. A fluke goal for Nom against the number 2 team in the country. What a play. We stay at that game now. It's later. It's the 4th quarter. BYU out in front. And Kyle Crump makes an incredible save for Colorado. The freshman goaltender making things happen. Now it's taken by Braden Sheehan going past midfield with speed, charging, takes a shot, but it's blocked out in front. What a series for Colorado as they try to come back in that game, falling just short. Now let's go over to that Jacksonville game. Varsity lax, Tegan Ryan takes a shot, rebound, score, ladies and gentlemen, that's Rowan Edson in overtime. The 2 Westchester, New York natives, Ryan and Edson, making it happen for Varsity lax. Not that far from where I grew up. Now for number 1, let's go back to men's lax. Graydon Easton with an incredible interception and a wide open net for Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, that man is not human. What a grab and an interception. And Colorado back on top. That's all I've got for you this week here on SBS. I'm Kieran Walker, wishing you a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
What's up, Buff fans? I'm Jackie Rivera, and I'm bringing you this week's Rapid Fire. So let's get to it. First things first, we have club baseball tonight playing at 7 p.m., Game 1 of their 3-game series at Scott Carpenter Park, and streamed right here on Scope Buff Sports. Let's head over to Saturday. It's going to be a busy day for the Buffs. We have track and field competing in the Kittmeyer Classic all day in Golden, Colorado. Next, we have men's golf competing in the 3rd round against Arizona State University all day in Phoenix, Arizona. Last but not least, we have the Colorado Spring Game taking place at Folsom Field at 1 p.m. That's all we have for this week. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Jackie. And now it's time for the much awaited answer to this week's trivia question. Earlier, we asked you, who will be there more of at this year's spring game? SBS members or returning football players? And this answer may shock you. Drum roll, please. Scope Buff Sports! With over 50 new players brought in this offseason, Colorado has 15 returners on the roster. SBS, meanwhile, is sending 20 people to the spring game. Not bad for a student media group.
Our tweet of the week comes from, well, us. Our exclusive interview with athletic director Fernando Lovo is out now. Over 4 months in the making, the new AD sat down with Harrison Simeon to discuss how CU is navigating a $27 million budget deficit, his dynamic with Deion Sanders, the future of non-revenue sports, and more. Check it out on our YouTube channel.
If one shameless plug for the Lovo interview wasn't enough, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time Sandy P. Simon's son gets a cold shoulder from Steve. I'm Jake Xiao alongside Xavier McNevich, and you heard it here first.
On a beautiful sunny day here in Boulder, Colorado, we welcome you inside of Folsom Field on the campus of the beautiful University of Colorado Boulder for today's Black and Gold Spring Game presented by AT&T here where the Colorado Buffaloes will take on themselves. Welcome into the pregame show on Scope Sports. Kieran Walker, Quinn Crack, Jake Chow, and Noah Bushke. Fellas, how are we doing today?
I'm feeling fantastic. Like you said, Kieran, beautiful day for a football game.
Yeah, I got to echo that, Quinn. Not rainy like we've seen in years past, so excited to see our freshman phenom Ralphie run today.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited for today. It should be a very fun game to see what kind of the team has to offer here following when they actually play some games in the fall, so I'm very excited.
Yes, fellas, lots of changes coming to this Colorado squad in the offseason, taking to the field for the first time in 2026. Giving Colorado fans their first look at this new squad. And we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, fellas, so we're diving right in. Starting off, I mean, we just received word that Dominic Ponder will be receiving a tribute to start off this game, fellas. I mean, from what I hear, we'll most likely be doing a 10-player drill rather than 11 to honor his jersey. So, fellas, this is a very touching gesture here after the tragedy in the last couple months.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a very nice, classy move by the Buffaloes to make sure they pay tribute to someone who was a big part of this team.
Yeah, absolutely, and wearing his patch today and will be throughout the season, so, he'll always be a part of this Buffs community.
Yeah, just to have 10 people on there shows that he's still on the team even though the tragedy has happened. So I love what they're doing here. It's a great way to honor him.
Absolutely, fellas. I mean, this is what Colorado's all about. They're a unique brotherhood here at Folsom Field and the Boulder community at large, and that was a tough loss. But moving on, we got to talk about the format of the spring game, fellas. If I recall correctly, this is most of y'all's first spring game up here in the booth.
Yes,
that is
definitely.
correct. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen the games in years past, but I mean, from what I understand, we're going to be following the same format here to start off this day, beginning at 1 p.m., fellas. I mean, what are we looking forward to here?
I mean, it's going to be exciting. They're going to play a scrimmage session, obviously, which is kind of what the fans are looking for. They're most excited for something like that. They'll play, and then after that, they'll go to 7-on-7, is what I'm hearing, and then they'll play their linemen one-on-ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit of a glorified scrimmage, but I don't think anyone's complaining, especially about how new this team is. Only 15 returning players. If you saw our trivia question in our live show yesterday, you'll know that we actually have more SBS members here than returning players.
That is
But
true.
I think the crowd and us, all 20 of us, are excited to see the 50 new players coming into this program this year.
Absolutely. There's a ton of new players to see what they have to offer, and last season wasn't the best season for Buffs fans and definitely not for the team as well. So hopefully getting these new players can spark a new energy in what they have to offer in the fall.
Absolutely, and this game is set to last a little over an hour. That's how it usually runs with Coach Prime at the helm. It's a skills competition. It's really an interesting game to call for sure. And of course, post-game autographs will follow, so the fans who are in attendance today can meet some of the new members of this squad. But pivoting over, we already talked about the new players a little bit, but I mean, there are a few that really stick out to me. Number one is Utah transfer quarterback Isaac Wilson. And I mean, fellas, I got to ask, could this call into question Julian Lewis's status, the redshirt freshman who played here at Colorado last year? What impact could this have on him?
I mean, Wilson has obviously been a very important part so far through practice. I mean, Coach Prime has been praising him recently, saying that he could possibly take the starting job from Lewis, who is supposed to be kind of a standout player here, especially this year.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting, and I think Coach Brian's just trying to test the waters between a guy like Wilson and Juju Lewis. And Lewis has proven himself. He kind of got the nod, especially sticking around with this program. I think he's the next guy up, but never a bad thing to have a capable backup.
Yeah, like Jake said, it could be a capable backup. It's definitely nice to have QB competition early here to see what they have in both of these players. And I'm a Juju guy. I want Juju to start, but I mean, it's gonna be a fun way to see who's gonna get the helm in the fall, and yeah, just who is gonna be better for this team moving forward.
Well, it all comes down to this, folks, as the public will get to see Colorado practice for the first time in person. But Coach Prime has made it clear, as well as has his staff, every position is open, and that will be tested here today, fellas. But I'm going to toss it back over to y'all. Who are some other players you'll be looking out for today?
Someone that I think a lot of people have been talking about recently is Danny Scudero, a transfer who shined when he was at San Jose State. Played really well, had a lot of receiving yards, and it's just been questioned whether or not he'll be able to do that here at CU. So definitely going to be interesting to see whether or not he's able to kind of keep that production up in the Big 12.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that a little bit with another wide receiver from Sacramento State. Is Ernest Campbell coming in with Brennan Marion and kind of knows this offense and is familiar with it. I think that he can really blossom into a good wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver 1 if he gets the right opportunities in this Marion offense.
Absolutely. I'm looking at some notable players. I see running back Shaquille Smith from Sacramento State, and he was a third-string running back there. Not a lot of opportunities, but who knows? He could improve during this season, and he recorded 511 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. And I think his ability to take over games when given the opportunity is he can definitely shine out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that out there.
Yeah, having some experience with Marion, of course, as his head coach at Sac State, and of course coming here as Colorado's new offensive coordinator. That brings us into the revamped coaching staff on this Colorado team. And of course, we mentioned Brennan Marion coming in here from Sacramento State as their head coach, now the offensive coordinator. We got Chris Marv coming in as our new DC after Robert Livingston took the job at the Broncos down in Denver. So that was a kind of a big loss for the program, but there's still hope, fellas, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Marion is someone that has been talked about a lot, especially since they signed him, about his go-go offense. You know, people are really looking forward to having a little bit more offense here at CU. I mean, they struggled a lot in the Big 12, especially. They were 15th average rushing yards every game. They were 13th in passing yards. So, I mean, offense is definitely something that you're going to be looking for in this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I'll echo that a little bit. The offense was nothing short of a disaster last year. And I think that it can only go up from here. And I think that this real skill set that Brennan Marion brings as a coach fits the skill set of the players on the field. And I think that'll kind of smooth out some of those problems that we saw and really play to the players' strengths.
Absolutely. Both coordinators gone. I do think that they need to focus on the offense a little bit more than the defense, but having a good defense means that you can also have a good offense. Way more probability of having a way better offense. But yeah, having players like DeAndre Moore was definitely a good play for the Buffs, and that can help revamp the offense for the next coming season.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the future is bright for this Colorado team with these new coordinators coming in, joining the coaching staff of Coach Prime. And fellas, it's pretty. The crowd is still rather sparse here. It looks like we've got some members of our creative team up in the stands as well. But as far as attendance goes, I want to end with that real quick. I mean, what do y'all expect to see? It's been pretty sparsely attended in the last couple of seasons, especially with weather. But with this beautiful April morning or afternoon, rather, I mean, what would y'all expect to see in terms of crowd size?
I mean, I think that with it being such a fresh-faced team, I think people aren't going to show up as much because there aren't going to be people who they know. You know, there's not someone that they're going to be looking to get an autograph from because they're people who they haven't seen yet. So, you know, they're not going to be filling the stands to see somebody now. You know, it's not like, you know, you don't have the big faces that you used to have.
Yeah, certainly, and I think this is make or break season for Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. And I think a lot of the community has been kind of disillusioned, especially after last year. Some of the narrative has been that he's been carried by Shedeur and Travis, and this is a good opportunity for him to kind of change that narrative and do it in front, kind of a little bit of a comeback story in front of a sparse crowd, as you mentioned here.
Absolutely. Some people that I talked to said that Deion was a questionable coach and that they didn't like Deion or anything like that because he's a great recruiter but not a great coach. That's what people have said. I am always an optimistic person. I think that he can really spark a good team here in this upcoming year, and I just hope that what we see during this game and all the good plays that we can see during this game will eventually turn out to be what we see in the fall as well.
Absolutely. It all comes down to today, as we've said, folks, Coach Prime putting on a show here in front of a sparsely attended Folsom Field, at least thus far. That's going to do it for our pregame show here on SBS. From Kieran Walker, Quinn Crack, Jake Chow, and Noah Bushke. We'll see you after the game. You heard it here first.
You're off.